YouTube, what the crap's going on? Bring him to his men. It is Karl Franz leading the Empire against Kolek Suneater in Chaos. And he's brought an army full of state troops, which have been sent straight to the Realm of Souls, at least a good chunk of them right there, by a Hell Cannon. But yeah, Karl leading this state troop-themed Empire army with 4 swordsmen, Sigmar's son. I see 6 spears in the back. Empire Captain, Jade Wizard, 2 crossbowmen, and there are also 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun. The Chaos Army has 3 Marauder Horsemen. There's a couple of Chaos Marauders spread throughout. There's some Chaos Warriors with great weapons, Kolek Suneater, a Hell Cannon, and some Warhounds with poison, and then hidden in the woods over here is a Death Sorcerer and some Knights with lances. Now, Karl Franz starts this thing off in kind of a bad way here, and he starts taking a ton of damage from all the Marauder Horsemen, and he gets hit with the Spirit Leech as he discovers the Death Sorcerer. And he is going to take a beating very early on, about which the Chaos player has to be feeling quite good. These Knights of the Blazing Sun move over in this direction, obviously hoping to lay down some support. The Hell Cannon is not being manually aimed, not every time at least. It's gotten some kills, but if you want your money's worth out of that thing, you kind of do have to aim it. The Knights with Lances actually get a nice charge, but I don't see how they're going to win against 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun without some serious support. Karl's going to jump in here. There's a Fate of Yuna, so there's some support. But yeah, Karl's going to get in here and start tearing up these Knights, but in terms of serious support, it just turned this direction. And Kolek is one serious anti-large nightmare. So here he comes. The Empire army approaches in the background, and watch what Kolek's going to do to these Knights of the Blazing Sun. And Karl, he swoops in, lightning bolts. All the cavalry causes immense damage, terrifies them, and Karl goes running. So Kolek comes and breaks up that fight in a big hurry. Meanwhile, emboldened by the presence of an Empire captain, the state troops of the Empire manage to stand their ground against some pretty overwhelming odds against these Chaos troops. But there's enough of them in numbers that it's going to take Chaos a good while to cut through them. I think that Empire Captain's in here somewhere. Actually, he's not yet. Here he comes. So he'll be able to support that and keep that fight going. Meanwhile, Kolek is trying to hunt down the Knights of the Blazing Sun that he routed, but that's also keeping him away from the main fight, as well as all these Marauders, while Franz was able to come back over this direction, regroup, and find out where he wants to strike next on the battlefield. At this point, he's ignoring the Hell Cannon. And Franz decides to take up chase of these poison Warhounds before they can cause any damage. Not a bad choice. If Kolek were around, the poison Warhounds could be used to nice effect, but instead Kolek has run off quite a ways across the map. Sigmar's sons actually punched through some Marauders, and there's a break, and we have lots of infantry here to keep Kolek from a quick return to the battlefield. Meanwhile, like I said, that Empire captain now engaged in the fight, supporting his men, inspiring them to fight on. There he is, up in the midst of combat there. And so the state troops do continue to fight. And you've got Sigmar's sons marauding around back here after some of the horsemen. And they actually did catch some of them. So Kolek returns. He's going to go after the Jade Wizard. He's going to get put in a spot that isn't great for him, which is surrounded by a ton of cheap spearmen. He's going to use his lightning bolt. Makes a lot of sense. It's going to do some damage, but really a giant blob of infantry like this is not ideal for Kolek. Not anti-large infantry, at least. It's not going to immediately kill him. But here comes Karl. He's going to use the Reichland Rune Fang. He's also going to be getting buffs from the Life Wizard that you don't see every day. So let's watch this. He's going to get the Earth Blood, which we do see every day. There comes the Reichland Rune Fang, Galmaraz, and we also got the Flesh to Stone. So all of a sudden, Karl Franz is going to become incredibly powerful and very difficult to hit. You can see that Flesh to Stone, that green aura about him, and Kolek actually gets routed because of the support of the Jade Wizard there. And if the Hell Cannon had been manually targeted here too, some juicy, juicy targets. Kolek's gonna break free. He will live. He won't be able to be caught. But a big victory there for Karl. Meanwhile, the Chaos Infantry just really not cutting its way through these units. These units with great weapons take a little longer sometimes to cut through these state troops. I don't know why that is. It seems like they should be doing just fine, but they're not. And it could be because the Empire Captain is in here supporting. But I almost think just standard Chaos Warriors might have been a better bet here because they would have been shielded and less vulnerable to the attacks of the state troops. Karl pulled off a cheeky charge. He's got the flesh to stone right now, which was protecting him, but he's going to get back and try and support over here. He was going to dive bomb those Warhounds, but then changes his target. He comes down closer to the Jade Wizard so he can be healed. And then he's going to escape through his own troops there so that Kolek can't catch him. The Warhounds are tied down in spears. We're going to get a charge in by the Marauders here. They're not going to be great at melee, but against crossbows they'll probably hold. Here comes Karl again. This is going to be risky. He has healed some, but Kolek is a monster, literally, and very good against large targets. He's got Star Crusher, but that's splash attack. That's almost better against blobs of foes. And Karl Franz is going to get in here and take care of business and knock Kolek out of the fight, if only just. And at this point, the sheer number of troops left for the Empire is likely to carry the day. Knights of the Blazing Sun surprisingly still alive after that brutal hit by Kolek early in the battle. You can see over here that the Chaos troops actually did finally win some of these fights, but not before the Empire had the opportunity to start regrouping back here as well. So even though the Chaos troops are superior, it won't do them any good now that they've lost all of their leadership, since Kolek has been run off the battlefield. So, bye-bye, Daddy Kolek. And now the Empire player just has to finish wrapping things up. Karl is back there making sure Kolek doesn't come back. That's what I was looking for. And all the remaining infantry should be able to overwhelm the now unsupported Chaos troops. They lost their Death Sorcerer early, got owned by Karl and the Knights. And even though he did get off a Spirit Leech and a Fate of Unit, it just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. There's going to be another Earthblood here from the Jade Wizard, so the Empire troops going to last even longer. So inferior in quality, superior in numbers and support. So quality isn't always just in the price of a unit. Sometimes it's what that unit can be supported with. Holy crap, this game's beautiful. Cannot wait for the new DLC. What are you guys most excited to play? Are you wanting to play Alariel, or you want to play Helebron the Crone? What tickles your fancy there? I can't wait to jump into it. We'll either do an Alariel or a Helebron campaign, and then I'm thinking we'll pick up a Norska campaign, and probably some other kind of campaign at some point. There's still quite a few campaigns I want to do in Warhammer 2. But I'd like to appreciate Big Mike for sending that in to us. He's sent in replays before. This one was fun. I like the theme here with the state troops. Lots of chevrons. Good support from the Jade Wizard. Very nice support, actually, and an interesting use of Karl Franz, who can sometimes be frustrating to use properly. Now, that Hell Cannon killed and killed, but 148 state troops, not as good as, you know, if it had a more important target. Now, when all of these Knights of the Blazing Sun and other stuff were in a blob, a manually targeted Hell Cannon blast could have been devastating. One or two of them, but it also requires the micromanagement to go do it, so it's a trade-off. I would say the Hell Cannon's not worth it these days unless you're going to manually target it at a very high value enemy unit. If you play it in campaign, that's a different story because you can get a whole bunch of chevrons on it and upgrades, and it'll be just as good as they used to be, even without having to manually target. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Like I said, appreciate both players. Thanks for sending it in. I will see you all back soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. If you want a chance to win the Queen and the Crone DLC, subscribe and keep an eye out. I'm going to have a link to a contest. I'm going to be giving away about 5 copies of the DLC, and all you have to do is be subscribed for your chance to win. HeirofCarthage, signing out. I will see you soon.